Alright guys, now that episode 5 for Daredevil Born Again is streaming on Disney Plus, we're going to go through all of the interesting plot points inside of this episode and discuss them all, and I'll also give my rating for this episode at the end of our discussion. But with that being said, let's get into the episode 5 review for Daredevil Born Again. Now, I want to start this by saying this episode is titled With Interest and is easily one of the best episodes I've ever seen out of the Daredevil series. That goes for season 1, season 2, season 3, and now season 4 with Born Again. This was a phenomenal episode. And we're going to begin with Matt Murdock going into the bank to get a bank loan for his lawyer firm because, of course, he takes a lot of cases where he doesn't exactly get paid for them because he's a great guy, not just a great lawyer, but a great human being in general, which of course results in Matt Murdock being denied for this bank loan, and he ends up leaving the bank. Now, on his way walking down the streets of New York City, on his way walking out of this bank, he ends up hearing in the background that the bank that he just left is now being robbed. A bank heist is taking place. We have all of these robbers, about 4 of them in multicolored masks. You can, identify and keep track of them as the audience. And that is where we begin this episode. A very interesting start, a great concept for an episode. It reminded me, of Batman, The Dark Knight, the beginning opening scene, or if you've ever played the Spider-Man PS4 game, it reminded me of one of the missions inside of that game. But yeah, Matt Murdock, being the madman that he is, he returns to this bank, he waltzes in, pretends like, he's just a blind guy going into the bank, he doesn't know where he's going, he doesn't know what's going on, and he ends up getting taken hostage by these robbers on purpose so that he can stay, maintain a sense of control over this situation and be involved in it directly the entire time he's there. Now, after rounding up the hostages, the bank robbers decide, hey, it's time to get into the vault. Where's the bank manager? Now, only the bank manager is able to get into the bank vault, and the only person available at the bank currently is the person that Matt Murdock was speaking to directly, that being the bank assistant manager, who doesn't have direct access to this bank vault. Now, on another note, the bank assistant manager is also the father of Kamala, of course, Miss Marvel, and they do give a little shout out to her inside this episode. That was a nice cameo. Well, they were also promoting like Funko Pop merch, which was interesting to see Disney doing that. But while taking the bank assistant manager, Kamala's father, down to the vault, Matt Murdock, the SWAT team has now arrived at this bank because, of course, Matt gave a call to his assistant to get the police on the way before he enters the bank, right? So as a show of good faith to the SWAT team's negotiator, the bank robbers decide to send out 2 hostages out of the bank to the police. Now, of course, they pick one lady who has a husband in this bank, and they pick Matt Murdock more than likely because he's blind, but also because he is a lawyer and he's been annoying, getting under the skin of these bank robbers the entire time he's been there. So we end up seeing Matt Murdock negotiate, which of course he does best. He is, in New York City's greatest lawyer. He negotiates to get the bank robbers to now send out the husband and the wife instead of Matt Murdock, which we get to see a showcase of Matt Murdock's character, his morals, his values in this scene, but also the way he maintains control in this, situation where someone should not have any control at all. Matt stays calm, he stays cool, he stays collected, and honestly, Daredevil is aura farming throughout this entire episode. Now, he soon convinces one of the robbers to take him to the bathroom, and while on the way to the bathroom, of course, he does the Daredevil thing. He takes this guy out. After taking this guy out, he makes his way down to the bank vault, takes out another one of them, and then we get an awesome scene where we see Matt Murdock opening the bank vault. The bank assistant manager's like, what the hell are you doing? You're never gonna get inside this vault. But of course, he's the Daredevil. So he opens this vault, he cracks it, and then we see it's a bunch of, security deposit boxes with not much in it. They happen to find a key on one of the bank robbers. They open the vault, they find a diamond, which is clearly what the bank robbers came there for, the specific diamond that they knew would be in there, which immediately lets you know, okay, they have an inside man in on this robbery, because there's no other way. 1, they could have had this key, but 2, they could have had this information of the diamond actually being inside of this vault. Now, at this point in time, the SWAT team loses their patience. They raid the bank, they're tired of waiting, and it of course turns into a free-for-all where they get in a shootout with the remaining robbers left. Now, one of them happens to sneak off and ends up putting on this police uniform, which then he sneaks out of the bank. And Matt Murdock is, he's listening this entire time. Now, while he's sneaking out of the bank, he passes off this diamond to one of the supposed hostages inside the bank. So we now know it was a woman in on this bank robbery, in on this bank heist with, the rest of the robbers. Now, the second to last guy left inside the bank, Matt takes him out, which then results in Murdock leaving this bank. Of course, he gets through, the police lineup, and then he finds the policeman that escaped, the fake policeman that escaped, the bank robber that escaped in the uniform, and he puts on one of the masks, and we get one of the best fight scenes this season so far, where he's going one-on-one with this bank robber. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that Matt Murdock was, losing this fight at any point in time. I didn't like that he was, getting hands put on him here and there. Now, of course, he wins the fight because he is the Daredevil, but I feel like it shouldn't have even been that close in the first place. He wasn't taking on multiple people at once, which we've seen him done in the past. He was taking on, one particular guy. It was a one-on-one situation with a bank robber. But of course, Daredevil wins this fight. He hits a brutal finishing move on this guy. He stomps through his leg, a John Jones oblique kick type of scenario. It was amazing to see. And then we see the woman leave the bank who was in on the heist. She does end up getting away with it, at least as far as we're aware. But when she checks the diamond, she does not have the diamond. You see, Matt Murdock somehow maintains that in his possession. Now, we come to the end of the episode. Everything's settled. The dust is settled. It's back to a normal day at the bank. Matt Murdock makes his way back to the bank to have a conversation with Kamala's father. Now, in this conversation, he ends up pretty much leaving him the diamond without directly telling him that he left him the diamond. We see Murdock leave the bank. The assistant manager finds the diamond, and that pretty much concludes episode 5, titled With Interest. Now, overall, like I stated in the beginning of this video, a phenomenal episode, genius, amazing writing, amazing concept, amazing execution, Daredevil aura farming this entire episode. One, complaint that I do have is we're 5 episodes in, there's only 8 episodes inside this entire season, which leaves us with 3 episodes left. So that being said, why have we not seen this guy inside the Daredevil uniform yet? Maybe they're taking inspiration from season 1, where we didn't really get it there until the very end. But damn, guys, this is the 4th season of Daredevil. This is Daredevil Born Again. Can we see him in the outfit? Can we see him in the suit? Why is it taking so long? Maybe in episode 6, we'll get to see him in the suit, because I believe it is on streaming. So after, I upload this video to you guys, I'll check out episode 6, and I'll bring you guys the review for episode 6 of Daredevil Born Again. But with that being said, guys, let's rate this episode. I give episode 5 of Daredevil Born Again a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 episode from start to finish, from concept, the fact that they threw in that it was St. Paddy's Day and that all of the robbers were Irish. This was all genius. It was well executed, and man, 40 minutes of greatness. This wasn't even an hour episode. It was 40 minutes of greatness. It was one of the greatest episodes of television I've had the pleasure of seeing. And with that being said, guys, I'd love to know your thoughts on episode 5 of Daredevil Born Again down in the comment section down below. And as far as what we do here on Demigod ENT, we do film and TV reactions and reviews. So if you're interested in any of this movie-based content, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Peace.